Many of the same areas hit by last week's severe weather are unfortunately in the bullseye to see severe storms again this weekend, but thankfully not nearly as significant. So what occurred is that we had 110 tornadoes that ripped through 14 states. Unfortunately, dozens were killed in last weekend's deadly tornado outbreak as over 1,100 severe storm reports occurred over the 4-day time span between March 14th all the way through March 17th. So we had 300 plus tornado warnings, 600 plus severe thunderstorm warnings. It was the most active day, so March 14th, the most storm reports that we've seen since May 26th of 2024. So it was a very, very busy weekend weather-wise last weekend, and we were covering it each and every step for you here on Weather Command Weekend. And we're going to be with you once again this weekend to get through this severe weather event. Thankfully, it's not nearly as significant, but it's a level 1 threat for today. It does include much of the state of Missouri, as well as portions of eastern Kansas. So all the way over to about El Dorado, that's where we have that severe weather potential for today. It does include Kansas City, Kirksville, Rolla, and Rogers. If you remember to last weekend, Rolla unfortunately was one of those communities that was significantly impacted by the severe weather. So our thoughts and prayers go out to all of those folks that are continuing that recovery process this weekend. And unfortunately, what's not going to help out the recovery process is the rounds of active weather that we have that will be underway. Here's that surface low developing across the northern plains and that dip in the jet stream that will push its way further east. So all of that kind of moisture streaming northward, we are going to have the potential for storms to break out really this afternoon and evening in portions of the central plains, so Kansas into Missouri. And then heading into Sunday, that overall severe potential, it shifts its way a little further to the south. So that warm sector, that's going to be really kind of confined to the I-10 corridor all the way up into the Mid-South. So Nashville, Memphis, Jackson, over to Atlanta, we could see some severe weather. Now, I was mentioning the time. For much of today, you're actually all right. So if you're in Kansas City, you're in Omaha, Nebraska, Quincy, Illinois, St. Louis, just to name a few, you're going to have the majority of today, which really is going to be pretty nice. So if your kiddos have any ball games or you happen to need to do some yard work, you're all right. By this afternoon, though, if you live in places like northeast Oklahoma, so the Tulsa area, all the way over to Joplin, Missouri, so the Ozarks, that's when we could start to see some light to at times moderate rain that will be working through the region. But the worst of the weather, and I want to pause this and highlight this, look at the storms that are going to be firing about 10, 11 o'clock tonight, all the way through midnight in this general zone. So much of the Ozarks and into kind of the boot heel of Missouri, this is concerning to me. This is 2 a.m. Notice that this forecast model is indicating that we could have, as opposed to a line of storms, a few areas of clusters of storms. So they could be more discrete in nature, and that could pose a threat to not just damaging wind and hail, but maybe we could see a spin-up tornado or two. That's not the biggest concern out of this event, but when you start to see indications that maybe we're starting to see maybe some more discrete cells, it's always a concern. Heading into tomorrow morning, though, we are still, unfortunately, locked in with all the active weather, and that's going to be encompassing much of the Mid-South. But then heading into tomorrow, so Sunday, we up the ante a notch by about a level 2 out of 5 threat for severe weather. Michael.
Yeah, Kendall, in those zones tomorrow are going to be cities like Memphis, Tennessee, which you can see on the left side of your screen, of course, home to not just Beale Street in Memphis, a great place to grab some great food and listen to some awesome jazz, but also you have Graceland, where Elvis Presley's at and where his aircraft are located, something cool to see. But by tomorrow during the evening, you're not going to want to be out at Graceland, given the fact that we're expecting to see heavy showers and strong to severe thunderstorms, right? You're going to get soaking wet. Kendall mentioned the forecast for today from Kansas City to Joplin, Missouri, seeing that isolated severe weather chance. Again, I think our biggest threat is going to be some larger hail. And then for tomorrow on Sunday, it's not just going to be a hail threat, but also a damaging wind threat. And there's also that isolated opportunity on Sunday for over 12 million Americans for seeing perhaps an isolated spin-up tornado. The reason why is because all of the ingredients in the atmosphere are there, right? We have the moisture, the lift, the instability, not as much in the way of wind shear. That's a change of wind direction with height. Sometimes storms like to tap into that change of wind direction with height and pull that circulation down to the surface. We don't have a whole lot of that on Sunday. So I think our risk for tornadoes is going to be a little smaller, but not zero. A lot of moisture to help fuel the fire. This is the gasoline that those storms need to really kind of get things going. Watch what happens tomorrow on Sunday. This is going to be around 5 o'clock. You're trying to enjoy some dinner in Tupelo. You'll look outside of your favorite restaurant and you'll start to see those building storm clouds. Eventually, those storm clouds right around sunset on Sunday could give way to the large hail, the damaging winds, that isolated tornadic threat. And Kendall, it's not just going to be a Sunday evening threat, but perhaps even a nocturnal and overnight threat. And I want to make sure we highlight the fact that Shreveport, Louisiana, and then down into southeast Texas, those are going to be areas where if we see hail, that would be the most likely area to see the hail as opposed to way up here in Nashville by Sunday evening.
Right, so we will have cold air aloft, meaning that that will allow for these raindrops to be sent well up into the atmosphere, and then they're going to cool and unfortunately come down as large hailstones at times. So make sure that you're taking those precautions. You're parking your car in your garage or under a carport, and also you're avoiding any areas that are prone to flooding, because flooding, it's a concern, Michael. 1 to 2 inches doesn't seem like a lot, but it could be a little too much of a good thing.
Yeah, from Jackson to Tupelo, as you mentioned, that's 1 to 2 inches of rain. 1 inch of rain over 1 square mile, over 17 million gallons of water. So 2, you're doubling that, can lead to some issues, especially in creeks, rivers, and streams.